everyone. In this video we are going to learn about topic magnetism that is being taken from class 6. So let us start. So, can anybody tell that what is a magnet? Correct. Objects which attract magnetic materials like cobalt, nickel and iron are called as a magnet. The force exerted by the magnet on the magnetic material is called the magnetic force. For magnetic force, the simple language or simple definition, we can say the force that is being performed by a magnet is known as magnetic force. And if you want the correct and not an easy one definition, it's written here. The force exerted by the magnet on the magnetic material is called magnetic force. And now here in this GIF you can see the magnetic force. The iron nails, the iron pins are getting stuck to the cardboard due to the magnetic force between the two cardboards. But as the time the subject enters between the two cardboards, the iron pins fall down. So this is breaking the magnetic force between the two cardboard. That is why iron nails are falling down. Let us see that how these iron nails stick to it. This is what the whole chapter is about. So before that, let us see some applications of magnets. The railway tracks, the computer, microwave. When we close on the microwave, how it gets closed? Between the door and the slider, there is a magnet which sticks the door to it. That is why the door gets closed. And for vacuum cleaner also, this is there. And now in the pencil box, you can see here there is a magnet. So here is a magnet. So whenever we close this pencil box, these two magnets will get stuck together and the pencil box will get closed. How the magnet was discovered? Let us study about discovery of magnet. According to Greek legend, magnetism was first discovered by a shepherd named Magnus, who lived in Magnesia, that is in Greece. Magnus was a shepherd and he lived in Magnesia. Where was Magnesia located? In Greece. Now Magnus was herding his sheep through the mountains. Suddenly, he noticed the ferrule of his stick and nails in his sandals got stuck to a rock. The iron in his stick and the nails had become attracted to the magnetic rock. The stone was named as magnetite. As the name of the shepherd was Magnus, the stone he found was named as magnetite. And here's the image of that stone. You can see there are the iron nails, they are getting stuck to this stone. That is the magnetite, which is the natural material. Natural material, that is natural metal. After the name of the shepherd or the country it was founded, it was also known as a lodestone. But why it was known as a lodestone? Because of its attractive property. It has many attractive properties, so it was named as lodestone also. Magnetite is one of the 3 natural occurring oxides of iron. It gets attracted to magnets and can be easily magnetized to form a permanent magnet. Naturally magnetized pieces of magnetite are called lodestone. I hope you understood the discovery of magnet. Now the substances that are attracted by a magnet are called magnetic substances. and the substances that do not attract by a magnet are called non-magnetic substances or non-magnetic materials. For magnetic substances or magnetic materials, examples are given like iron, cobalt, nickel, and etc. For non-magnetic materials or non-magnetic substances, some examples are given again, that are aluminium, copper, wood, etc. So now let's move forward. Now we'll study about types of magnets. There are two types of magnets. As you can see here, the two types of magnets are artificial magnets and the natural magnets. There can a question that can come, differentiate between artificial and natural magnets, or it can come that differentiate between the two types of magnets. So you must know the difference between the two types of magnets, their definitions, and the name of those magnets that are artificial and natural. So let us learn the differentiation. Artificial magnets are made by a man by using different techniques, whereas natural magnets are found in nature. As per the name natural, they are found in nature. They are stronger as compared to natural magnets, whereas they are weaker as compared to artificial magnets. They can be temporary or permanent magnets, whereas natural magnets are always permanent magnets. They are available in different shapes and sizes, whereas they are available in shapes and sizes as they occur in nature. For example, horseshoe magnet, bar magnet, and for example, magnetite, that is lodestone. See, when we need not to buy magnets from market, we can make it at home also. But how? Let us see that method. In the single touch method, the method is known as single touch method, and here it's highlighted also. So, and steel bar is rubbed with a magnet repeatedly. Repeatedly means again and again and again and again. What does it mean? In a single touch, take it here, for this is the magnet, take it here without doing like this, take it in a straight path without taking it up, without removing it from the iron bar, then take it again, then again like this, scratch it on the iron bar, take it again. So to magnetize and steel bar, this is a steel bar, this is the magnet, that is the iron bar. So to magnetize a steel bar AB, this is the steel bar, as you can see. Because why it is a steel bar? Because it is named as AB. But magnets are always named by north-south direction, and there is no north-south direction given on this bar. This means this is a steel bar and this is a magnetic bar. So to magnetize and steel bar using a bar magnet, place one of the poles, we have taken north, place one of the poles of a bar magnet, say the north pole, over one end of the iron bar, say end A. From here we will start scratching. Now, without lifting the bar magnet, move it along the length of the steel bar till you reach the another end, that is B of the bar. Now on reaching the end B of the iron bar, lift the bar magnet. Bring the same north pole to point A again of steel bar. Now then move the magnet from point A to B again. So the process needs to be repeated, it is to be done again and again at least 30 to 40 times. And this process is called magnetization of the steel bar by the single touch method. The end A becomes the North Pole. Why, we will study that also. And the end B becomes the South Pole, which can be checked by means of the magnetic compass of the magnet. So now there are properties for magnets also, that are they repel, that is repulsion, they attract, that is attraction. Magnetic compass works on the basis of properties of magnets. Here you can see there is one magnet, and on the basis of it all the magnets are getting stuck to it, and this is happening in a wave-like manner. Now here you can see when south and north pole, when there are two different poles, they attract to each other, they will get. But when there are two same poles, here was south and north, that are opposite poles, but here the same pole, that is south and south, so they will repel. Repel means they will not attract. Opposite of attraction is the repulsion. They will repel means they will get far from each other with a jerk. And when they are north and south, again they are same poles, again they will repel. Now there are two types of properties for magnets, that are attractive property and directive property. So let us study the attractive property first. Magnets attract other magnetic substances. For example, this is a U-shaped magnet, or you can say it a horseshoe magnet. It will attract the iron nails to it, as iron nails are magnetic substances, and this is a magnet, that is the artificial magnet. Now this property can be demonstrated with the help of a simple activity. Let us see the activity. Materials needed are a magnet, here is a horseshoe magnet, and iron fillings that are here. Now method, what means what we have to do? Place the magnet in a heap of iron fillings. So now what do you observe? So what you observe is that iron fillings or the iron nails cling to the magnet. Cling means they get stick to the magnet. Also, the maximum amount of iron fillings cling, that is the stick, at the two ends of the magnet. These are the two ends, that is silver color or golden, you can say. These are the poles of the magnet. Suppose we are taking it as north pole and this is our south pole, so they maximum get attracted to the poles, these two poles. And in the center, this is the center, this is also a magnet, but here iron fillings get attracted, but a little bit. Most of the iron fillings get attracted at the poles, north and south. So what is the inference we are getting? The magnetic property of poles is more than the rest of the magnet. Means the magnetic force at the poles is greater than the magnetic force at the between or the rest of the body of the magnet. Poles of the magnet are those regions where the magnetic property is the maximum. The two poles are different. One pole of the magnet is the north pole and the other is the south pole. Every magnet, whether big or small, has the north pole and the south pole. Now here comes the directive property of the magnet. So what is the directive property of a magnet? A freely suspended means the magnet is totally free to move. So a freely suspended bar magnet, we have taken here the bar magnet, always points in north and south direction. This property is known as property of magnet, that is the directive property of magnet. So whenever you will see, what you can do is you can understand this property of magnet again by an activity. So let us see that this will be clear to you. Material needed are a bar magnet, a string, that is a string, this a stand, and a thread. So the thread is known as string, this is known as a stand, and this is known as a bar magnet. So what we need to do, take a bar magnet, tie it with a string form to form the center, and hang it on the wooden stand in such a way that it can move freely. You have to tie it in such a way that it doesn't stuck at any moment. It is totally free to suspend, so it can freely move. So now observation, what do we observe? The freely suspended magnet points in the north and south direction. So explanation for this activity is the end of the magnet that points towards the north is called north seeking, or the north pole of the magnet. The other end that points towards the south end, or the south pole of the magnet. Usually north and south poles are marked on the magnet as N and S. N for north and S for south. So now there is some more about attractive and repulsive property of magnet. The two main properties of magnets were attractive property and the directive property. So now we are going to learn about attraction and repulsion. So here you can see these are two different poles, north and south, so they can stick to each other. So means the opposite poles attract. So now here there are two same poles, that south and south, so they are repelling. As you can see, they are repelling now, and this means that same poles repel and opposite poles attract. Like magnetic poles repel each other, and unlike magnetic poles attract each other. Property of attraction and repulsion exists between two magnets. It can be demonstrated with the help of a simple activity. What you need two bar magnets for this activity. Take two bar magnets, try to bring them close to each other in such a way that both the like poles come closer. Now bring north pole of one magnet close to the south pole of another. So we have done two ways. We have bring two same poles once, and in the next chance we have brought different poles. Now what is the observation into all the two ways? If the two poles you are trying to bring closer are the same, that is both are north poles or both are south poles, then the both poles will repel each other. They will get far from each other with a jerk. So if you are trying to bring the opposite poles together, there will be a force of attraction between the two magnets, that is known as the magnetic force, and the like poles repel each other and the unlike poles attract each other. It's written here also. So now poles of magnets exist in pairs. How we get to know that? If a bar magnet, this is a bar magnet, is broken into two pieces. These are the two pieces. Each piece, when suspended freely, will point in north-south direction only. That is the directive property. But still, it has the magnetism inside it. This shows that if a bar magnet is broken into two or more smaller pieces, here are two pieces, here are four pieces, or there can be 6, 10, and more. Two or more smaller pieces, then the smallest piece is a complete magnet with two poles. This shows the magnetic poles always occur in pairs. See, when you cut a magnet, you must think that there is a south pole, there is a north pole. Means both the magnets are now waste. They have just one pole. So how will they attract? But still they have the magnetism inside it. When you cut them, so this is the south pole, this is the north pole. This will remain the same. We know this. And on the basis of these two marked poles, we will mark the broken ends of the two magnets, as shown in the figure or in the picture. So this means that poles of a magnet always exist in pairs. Let us move forward. Now let us see test for magnetism. Repulsion is the sure test for magnetism. How do we get to know that? With the help of an activity. Take a bar magnet, or you can take a U-shaped magnet also. Suspend it with the help of a thread. It is the directive property. Now bring one end of a metallic bar near one pole of the suspended magnet at a time. If one end of the metallic bar is attracted and the other is repelled, the metallic bar is a magnet. If both the ends of the metallic bar attract, it is not a magnet. Do you know that the earth is also a magnet? It acts as like a magnet. How? Earth itself behaves like a huge bar magnet with its magnetic poles near the geographical north and the south poles. Therefore, when a magnet is suspended freely, the magnetic poles of the earth attract the opposite poles of the magnet, and the magnet comes to the rest in north and south direction. And a compass, the magnetic compass also works with the help of our earth that acts like a bar magnet. This is the bar magnet between the earth. So this is the geographical north pole and this is the geographical south pole. And this is a bar magnet, so the south pole will attract to geographical north pole and north pole will attract to geographical south pole. Now let us study about magnetic compass. The magnetic compass is an instrument. Here is the image given. The magnetic compass is an instrument used to find directions. It consists of a bar magnet in the form of a needle. This is the needle. Okay. And this needle is enclosed in a small box having a glass top. The needle is free to move about its center. The magnetic compass is of great use to the travelers and navigators as it tells them the direction in which they are traveling. The magnetic compass works on the directive property of the magnet, means freely suspension of the magnet. The compass is kept at any place. Its needle indicates the north and south direction when it comes to the rest. And when we get to know north and south direction, we get to know west and east direction easily. It is easy for us to locate any direction. For northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. These directions can also be located at the intermediate directions. Now, do you know that we can make a magnetic compass at our home also? But how? Let us first understand the steps, then we will refer to this GIF to get the clarification. Things needed are a sewing needle, a bar magnet, a cork or a rubber or an eraser, and a cup with the water filled inside it. Method: you can magnetize a sewing needle using a bar magnet. Just now in the previous slides we learned that how to make a magnet at home, how to magnetize a steel bar. So with the same thing you can magnetize a sewing needle. Now place the magnetized needle. Place the magnetized needle onto the piece of a cork. Means push it at the center of it. Place the needle and cork into the bowl of water. You have to just push the needle into the cork. Now put the cork and the needle into the water. The needle will turn and then come to a complete stop. Now, observation is that needle always points to the north and south direction when the cork stops rotating. So this, let us see how it will move on. Here we have magnetizing a needle, swing needle. Then we have inserted it into a cork. Now it's moving, it is stopped, and this swing needle directions are, when they will stop, are north and south directions. So this is how we can make a magnetic compass or a small magnetic compass at our homes. Now what is demagnetization? Magnets can lose their magnetism, that is the magnetization, if they are heated, hammered or dropped from some height. This is called demagnetization, and the magnet is said to be demagnetized. Now how can we store magnets to prevent demagnetization? So we can store magnets by the following ways written here, and the image is also given here. A permanent magnet may lose its magnetism after some time if it is not stored properly. This is called self-demagnetization. So it is essential to store magnets carefully. Magnets should be kept in pairs with their unlike poles on the same side. Unlike poles, this is one side and this is second side. For a bar magnet we are seeing this. So this is one side and this one side, and this is the wooden piece, wooden board. Now this is one side, this is one side. So here are two opposite poles, here are two opposite poles. So like this is how a bar magnet should be stored. Let us see what are these things called that are used to store it. They must be separated by a piece of wood, while two pieces of soft iron called magnetic creepers should be placed across their edge. These soft iron placed at the top, at the bottom, is known as magnetic creeper. For a horseshoe magnet, what to do is, one should keep a piece of iron, that is again magnetic creeper, at one place. Now you have to, see, in a horseshoe magnet there are two poles only, but here we are taking two bar magnets, but horseshoe magnet is bigger than bar magnet, so it can be stored one time with the one magnetic creeper. So these are the two poles, north and south. They are opposite only, they can't be come in one direction only. So you just have to keep a magnetic creeper below them. This is just you have to do to store a horseshoe magnet. We should keep magnets away from mobile phones, CDs, computers, credit cards, TV, as they get demagnetized. So now, what are the uses of magnets? Credit cards, ATM cards, and identity cards have a strip of magnetic material. Here is a strip of magnetic material that stores information. Television and computer monitors use magnets. Computer hard disks and audio and video cassettes have magnetic materials that store information. Magnets are used in picking up substances made of iron from scrapyard. You can see here the scrapyard. These machines are used. This is a magnet which is attracting these magnetic substances so that they are not wasted in the garbage. Now magnets are used in magnetic needles, which is used by sailors to find directions. So magnetic needle is present where? In a magnetic compass.